Halloween order at 7 o'clock. And I believe first on the agenda we have for public participation, Kristen Tulip and Patty Taylor, who are the 8th grade class advisors. Do you want to stand up or whatever makes you more comfortable?
Okay. I think that you guys have in your packets our itineraries, and the one that we chose for the students, well, actually they chose, is Hershey Park for their first choice. And it would be a day at Indian Echo Caverns, and there's a tour. The tour guide takes them through and tells them about the history of the caverns. And then we would go to Hershey Park the next day and the Chocolate World on the 3rd day, and then come home. I'm not really sure what we need to tell you about. We haven't done it before, so I don't know. I don't really know what else you need to know. There's a proposed list of chaperones that could change, but that's what we have so far. Along with the dates at the bottom that say June 19th through 21st, but we're not sure because of the region schedule. It's not out yet. Yeah, we do have enough money to go, though.
That's always good.
That's not always the case.
Kristen, how many students do you have?
35 that say they're going and have permission slips.
Wow.
Did I miss something? Some of the bottom student second choice.
There was a first choice, but it was going over to Canada, and some of the kids don't have the right materials, I guess, to go across. So we didn't think that would be fair.
We usually want to know that there's security, and I see that you have 6 hours of private floor security each
Yep.
day, so. Does anybody have any questions for them? I can't think of anything.
Okay. So do we just wait to hear something back? Do you guys talk about it afterwards, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then somebody will get back to you,
Okay.
Mrs. Kelly or, yeah. Mrs. Kelly.
Okay. So that's all we have to do.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for your hard work.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
Did anybody sign? Okay, just a reminder that while we do want to encourage community involvement and support for our district, just a reminder that we can't allow derogatory comments in open session about any person, whether it be an employee or student or group of students. All those things would have to be discussed either with the appropriate principal and then going to Mrs. Kelly, just for legal reasons. We can't allow it. So, looks like Connie is the only one signed up for public participation. Connie, so you'll have 5 minutes to talk to us whatever else.
At the last board meeting, I felt misled when some board members used words such as hearsay and rumor mill, and misinformed when discussing the possibility of contracting out busing at EK. I would just like you to explain your statements, how the video was misleading, so that I can be more informed.
How would you like how the video was misleading? I don't.
The video that was discussed, this is the video that was discussed last board meeting about the busing at Edwards Knox. No one remembers that?
I remember, but I saw no video.
Did you discuss the video or did you just discuss the issues?
I just discussed the issues. I have no knowledge of a video. If there was talk of a video, it wasn't presented here.
We can drop the video but if you don't remember the video, it was actually just discussing the possibility of contracting busing at Edwards Knox.
Right.
And that there was a concern from a community member that had a question about it.
Right.
And it was basically squelched as being hearsay, rumor mill, and misleading, misinformed. That's basically the conversation that took place. My concern is that there was a video that was from the videotaping that station takes every day, every board meeting, that showed a discussion concerning this, where there really was very little room for misinterpretation. And my question is why statements such as misleading, misinformed, and what was the other one? Rumor mill, were used to describe this video.
I don't know about the video, but
Yeah.
the only thing that must have been the discussion I had with the gentleman that was from one of
Right.
the unions.
Right.
And that's what I was talking about. We talked about that at the previous meeting for maybe a minute. And all we were talking about was the fact that we have to start early as possible, making plans.
I
Or
understand
doing
that.
whatever
I
happens.
understand that,
That's all I know about it.
But my feeling is, and regardless of whether you've seen the video or not, do we all agree that the discussion took place about contracting the busing?
Yes, Mr. Sullivan had a question
Right.
on why it was being done. And all we did is, I gave my opinion on what I felt was important and why we needed to go and look at every expense that this
Right,
school has.
but I also, I just felt misled. I felt as if the board as a whole was misleading to the public, and I felt misled, as if that was really just kind of a frou-frou kind of a statement. It really isn't going to happen, you know, that's just rumor mill, and it's just basically not, so.
Well, I'm
Was
sorry,
I
misinterpreted what I said.
wrong in
Yeah.
interpretation?
Yeah.
I wasn't here for the last board meeting, but what I know and that I have heard is that, yes, we did mention looking at contracting services out, just because we have to look at everything going into a new budget system, but for another new budget season. But the rumors that I did hear was that a lot of people would lose their jobs and things like that,
So what you're saying right now is that if you do decide to contract out the busing, that jobs won't be lost? Is that what I'm
I'm
hearing?
saying that's not necessarily true. I don't know how it's done. My understanding from some other districts that have contracted out services, the service that would come in may or may not choose to rehire the people that we have. It's not straight across the board that all employees would lose their job. That would depend on the service. And-
So it may or may not be so.
Right.
And so this may or may not be fact, right? So to say that it isn't was misleading. And maybe I'm
It
just
isn't
not
necessarily true.
The
I
whole-
think what,
All I said was the fact that it's only to be fair to all the groups. It's not fair to just say, okay, let's look at teachers, let's look at buses, let's look at custodians. We need to look at the whole picture. Another point of that is we really can't do anything right now until the state tells us how much money we're going to be getting. You know, maybe this thing is not going to be an issue as far as people losing their jobs at all.
And I understand
Maybe
that, I understand that, I completely understand the need, your need to balance the budget and to find ways to make cuts. I understand that, I'm not debating that. But my concern is that you misled into saying that that the video was misleading. I guess that's what my concern is.
I don't know anything about this video. All I know is what we'll talk about.
I think what Lynn said was, because Steve asked the question, he
Right.
said, to stop any rumor mill, to stop anything, I was the person that brought up this conversation. That's what I remember being said. I don't remember, you never discussed the video.
We can watch the video, I know my time has run out, so I guess I would have to come to a further board meeting or another board meeting to discuss it further. And if you'd like to watch the video, we could watch that at the
I was
next
there.
board meeting.
I was there, and I know what I said. The point was, I was trying to get across to them was, nobody's made any decisions on anything like this. But when it comes down to when the budget has to come down and we look at the shortcomings between the budgets, it's only fair that we look at the entire operation.
Right, and I don't question that. I understand that that's what you said, but I was concerned that, and I know because I spoke with the person after we left, that he believed it was all not true. As did I. I went home and I watched the video, and the video clearly shows that that's something you're looking at, which is fine, but I believe that you should not be misleading.
Are you talking about the fact that we're looking at contracting out, or that everybody's gonna lose their job? Which I don't
Looking at
understand.
contracting out the bus.
Oh, I don't, yeah, I don't think anybody's.
And
We're
we all-
nowhere near that.
We all said we were.
Okay.
And Connie, if you have any questions ever, feel free to call me. You know, we can, if there's.
I don't make it a habit of calling you or anyone else at their home. I believe that that is your place,
Yeah.
and that is not my place to call you
Well,
there.
it's
So,
okay.
but that's probably not something that I would do.
Yeah, so
I don't
if
think
you
that's-
feel you don't want to wait.
Amanda, can I say something?
Just give me a
Just
call.
real quick, because I remember your lawyer specifically saying that you guys are not to do that. She's not supposed to call you and talk to just you.
Community members call us all the
That was
time.
from your lawyer. I was here at that meeting. Yes, they do call all the time, but he's advised you guys not to do that.
I
not to
think
talk
he
one-on-one.
said he advised it. I don't think there's any law one way or another. And I think it's certainly up to an individual board member if they want to put themselves in that position. But you're right, I think
I
I
think it
did
should be
advise
brought to the board.
Right.
And I don't think
it.
that
Yeah,
people should be calling one board
yeah,
meeting.
yeah. Well, if they find a
Because you still
question
get
that was-
different answers said here. You still get one saying yes, and the other one saying no.
And I don't feel like I properly spoken what I wanted to say, so.
I just remind you guys, if you would please just sign up so we know how many people are gonna have before, because
Well, I'm just trying to elaborate, because I don't think it's understood what the concern was. There was a video that was put out to the public, Stacia's video. It was put out to the public. Then at the last board meeting, I don't know the gentleman's name, member of the bus driver,
Sullivan.
Mr. Sullivan, asked if there was a discussion that had taken place regarding that. What words that were used when you spoke to him was that whole thing was misleading or misinformed, rumor mill, and so on. So, to me, and I believe to Mr. Sullivan, that discussion never took place, that there was never such a discussion on, and that basically Stacia was spreading rumors, when in fact it was on video.
There's been no discussion that I know of contracting anything else. Am I wrong? Am I incorrect?
It was a preliminary meeting when I came with the
Yeah,
landmark,
just-
I came with the MOA for management services, and then Randy and you both brought up different
Different
agencies,
groups,
and then it went from there. There was no other reports, nothing
There
further.
was no discussion among, of contracting
It was
anything else.
the
Like
beginning
I
of
said, we can't.
preliminary.
No, there really was. There's a video, and like I said, if you.
Well, all right.
And yes, unless I am misinterpreting the video, which is entirely possible, I guess I could misinterpret it, but I've listened to it several times, and I don't see it lend itself to interpretation very much. I mean, it clearly states that there were some numbers that had been, I'm not sure of the, but they were looking into numbers and amounts. This is what we're calling.
No.
We didn't have any, I had the
Specific.
Yeah,
preliminary,
Hmm?
there was no numbers, there was a.
No, you didn't
preliminary
state numbers, but
Oh.
you said you had spoken, and they were coming, they were going to come and discuss numbers, I guess was what it was.
We were looking into the process of several different companies under different agencies, yes.
Yeah, and you named a couple.
Yes, I had letters they could send.
And they had to meet with them, and you were going to come to the next board meeting with the amount that it costs.
I don't know that I said the next board meeting, but
I did just listen to it like minutes before I came here, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. And like I said, if you'd like to see it, I did bring my laptop, and if I can hook up, I can just keep it.
Any process like that takes weeks. I mean, to set up your companies and to get up.
Thank you for your time, I appreciate it.
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of November 21st?
I'll move.
Thank you.